Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. Phil Knight, the founder of Nike, said, "Why do people run? Because stopping scares them to death." Much has been written about starting a relationship, starting a business, and so on. But less has been talked about regarding stopping. Here are thoughts on each of 12 common times that we discontinue something that's important. Dropping out of college or graduate school. Most people drop out because of the cost, or the difficulty, or the perceived poor opportunity cost, that is, what they could otherwise be doing with the time and money. Even if you enrolled to enhance your career, though, there may be more direct and less expensive routes to becoming career competent. For example, reading articles you found with a Google search or on your professional association's website, taking an online course or 3, volunteering, and getting mentored. Keep a log of your learning and submit that along with your job applications, and you may find your employability enhanced even over people with degrees. Another thing that we stop, playing a sport competitively. Everyone reaches the point where we've got to scale back or stop playing. I'd played basketball my entire life, and when I stopped because of a hand condition, I couldn't hold the ball because of this is locked in place. I was sure I would greatly lament the loss. It turns out I quickly replaced it with taking steep walks with my doggie, and I rarely find myself missing basketball. Before quitting, though, you might think about what you might replace it with. Another thing we stop is stopping use of a dangerous substance. Depending on your level of addiction, stopping can of course be tough. Even if you slip, remember that you get a fresh start the moment after. It may help if you keep reminding yourself of the core reason you want to stop, to benefit your career, relationship, kids, health, whatever. Stopping trying to have a baby. Could that be for the best, because you're better off without a child, at least at this stage in your life? Or because it would be better for you and the child to adopt or foster? Giving up on your wayward adult child. Another thing that's hard to stop. One of my best friends worked so hard and for so long to help his lazy, substance-abusing son. Finally, as my friend was getting older, plus his having lost hope that he could help his son, he kicked the son out of the house. 2 years later, the son straightened up, and they're close again. Whether or not an adult child's progress is impeded by codependency, if you have a challenging adult child, it's certainly worth considering that you too are entitled to a life that isn't saddled with continuing to make great sacrifices. Aborting a child. If you think you might like to have a child later, might it assuage any guilt by remembering that you're only planning to have a certain number of kids, and it's better for the child and for you to have the kids when you're ready? Breaking up with a romantic partner. It's so hard to break cleanly. The same reasons you were attracted probably are still there, just with some countervailing negatives. But if the wise person within you thinks you're likely to be happier and or more successful without that person in your life, it's usually wise to make a clean break, with no possibility of seeing each other again. Otherwise, in moments of weakness, it's just too tempting to creep back in, just this once. Another thing that's tough to stop is owning a stock. If you have a gain, it's tempting to hold on to the stock. After all, rising stocks tend to continue to rise. But sometimes, especially if you need the money or are confident there's a better replacement investment, it may be time for gratitude for your good luck and skill and take your profit to the bank. If you have a loss, it's normally wise to cut your losses. As Warren Buffett said, never try to catch a falling knife. Another example of stopping is quitting a job. Especially in the COVID economy, quitting without a clearly better new job is understandably scary. So, is there anything you could do to tweak your current position? Try to get your boss or your job description changed, orchestrate more interaction with coworkers that you like, fewer interactions with the people you don't like. Should you take on a special project that's aligned with your interests and abilities? Do you need a change of attitude? Sometimes changing jobs only highlights that the problem was more about you than the employer. We take who we are to the next job or the next place we live. Retiring. Especially if you're one of those people for whom work is central to their identity, retiring can be difficult. So do spend the necessary time figuring out the glide path to retirement, including, if possible, recruiting and training your successor. Try to think of what you'll do in retirement that may be more rewarding even than your current work. mentoring, volunteering, starting a small business, diving more deeply into an avocation, or starting a new one. In retirement, if you'll be spending more time with your live-in family members, try to negotiate ground rules that'll make everyone happier. Stopping treatment for advanced cancer or other such disease. Alas, so-called heroic measures too often don't have a heroic outcome. Physicians often take their cues from their patients. So if you care more about quality of life than extending it with painful, unlikely to succeed treatments, make that known to your doctor or doctors. It may or may not be that palliative care or hospice will ultimately be better for you and for your loved ones. Then consider devoting many of the good hours you have left to the activities you deem wisest: work, family, or other pleasures. Do have an advanced medical directive on file with your physician and closest family member or friend, and an estate plan that ensures that the money you've worked so hard for goes where it's likely to do the most good. That legacy can both make a difference in others and help you feel good about the results of your life's efforts. And finally, the ultimate stopping, which is ending one's own life. There may come a time when you feel that ending your life, rather even than the palliative care provided by, say, hospice, is wiser. As you contemplate the wisdom of that, would you be wiser to journal about it, talk with someone about it, or just give it a little time for the idea to marinate? If you decide you do want to end your life, rather than try one of the DIY methods, which often fail, leaving the person in great suffering, if you live in a state in which physician-assisted dying is legal, speak with your doctor or one who's experienced with that. If you don't live in such a state, check as to the legality of accomplishing your goal by visiting another state. Startings may, in general, be more pleasant than stoppings, but perhaps one or more of this little talk's ideas can help make your stoppings more satisfying. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I'm Marty Nemko. I welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down. I always look forward to your comments, and I especially like it if you hit the share button below and share on your social media so that my efforts can have broader impact. And I'm always flattered if you choose to subscribe to my channel. And in any event, I do thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko.